Ένα από τα μεγαλύτερα περιβαλλοντικά προβλήματα της Κύπρου είναι η διαχείριση των απορριμμάτων της. Αρκεί να αναφέρουμε ότι η Κύπρος κατέχει μία από τις πρώτες θέσεις στην κατακεφαλήν παραγωγή δημοτικών αποβλήτων για να καταλάβει κανείς το μέγεθος του προβλήματος διαχείρισης των ροών αποβλήτων στην Κύπρο. Απότερος στόχος της Εκστρατείας Ενημέρωσης για τη διαχείριση αποβλήτων και αντιμετώπισης των τόνων σκουπιδιών στις παράνομες χωματερές της Κύπρου είναι να καταλάβουμε όλοι ότι τα σκουπίδια δεν είναι προϊόντα που έχουν φτάσει στο τέλος της ζωής τους. Αντιθέτως, είναι φυσικοί πόροι, άρα είναι πολύτιμα και ως τέτοια πρέπει να τα διαχειριζόμαστε αν θέλουμε να προστατέψουμε το περιβάλλον. Η συζήτηση για το ποιος και το πώς πρέπει να διαχειρίζεται τα οικιακά απόβλητα στην Κύπρο φέρνει στο προσκήνιο διαχρονικές διαφωνίες μεταξύ των εμπλεκόμενων αρμοδίων αρχών. Ουσιαστικό κομμάτι αυτής της αντιπαράθεσης φαίνεται να είναι και η αναποφασιστικότητα για το ποια είναι η ιδανικότερη και η λιγότερο δαπανηρή λύση. Διαλογή των αποβλήτων στην πηγή και συλλογή τους από εγκεκριμένους μεταφορείς για να οδηγηθούν στις διάφορες μονάδες ανακύκλωσης ή να συνεχίσουμε να τα πετάμε όλα μαζί σε μαύρες σακούλες που θα μεταφέρονται σε μονάδες ολοκληρωμένης διαχείρισης αποβλήτων. Η Αυστρία, το Βέλγιο, η Δανία, η Γερμανία και η Σουηδία διαθέτουν ολοκληρωμένα συστήματα αποκομιδής αποβλήτων και κατευθύνουν στους χιτά ποσοστό μικρότερο από το 5% των απορριμμάτων τους. Επιλέξαμε να διερευνήσουμε το παράδειγμα του Βελγίου από κοντά, επειδή το Βέλγιο παρουσιάζει μετά από 20 χρόνια εμπειρίας ένα από τα πιο ανεπτυγμένα συστήματα ανακύκλωσης, συνδυάζοντας νομικά, διοικητικά και οικονομικά μέσα για αποτελεσματική άσκηση των εθνικών πολιτικών διαχείρισης αποβλήτων.
It's a matter of a few years before Cyprus will reach the same, let's say, targets and the same degree of cost efficiency as we have in Belgium.
The best results you get if you have separate collection.
Discipline is a big part of this daily behavior.
Waste, it doesn't exist.
The thing that worked in Belgium to encourage the citizen to sort his waste, it really was the price.
Everything starts with collection. A good collection at the source give also a high recycling target.
We are also challenged by our customers, by our consumers, to make sure that we don't have the litter on the street, but that it's properly recycled.
We don't throw away furniture because we have other poor people who can use it. That was the initial idea.
Education for sustainable development is integrated in the school on different levels, from kindergarten and primary school and secondary school.
Nobody likes change. Even people who say they do like change.
Το Βέλγιο κάνει την καλύτερη διαλογή και διαχείριση αποβλήτων συσκευασιών σε όλη την Ευρώπη. Γι' αυτό και εμείς ταξιδέψαμε μέχρι τις Βρυξέλλες για να δούμε τι είναι αυτό που κάνουν καλά οι Βέλγοι και που θα μπορούσαμε να το κάνουμε και εμείς εξίσου καλά στην Κύπρο. Η FOST Plus, ο εταίρος μας στο Βέλγιο, φιλοξένησε μια ομάδα ατόμων από τους υπόλοιπους εταίρους από την Κύπρο που συμμετέχουν στην εκστρατεία Rethink για τη μείωση, επαναχρησιμοποίηση και ανακύκλωση οικιακών αποβλήτων στα πλαίσια του προγράμματος Life Plus της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης. Εκεί περάσαμε 3 μέρες γεμάτες από ενδιαφέρουσες παρουσιάσεις και συζητήσεις γύρω από το σχετικό θέμα. Ακόμη επισκεφτήκαμε βιομηχανίες και άλλους χώρους που μας έδωσαν μια πολύ καλή ιδέα για το τι κάνει το Βέλγιο σε σχέση με τη μείωση, επαναχρησιμοποίηση και ανακύκλωση οικιακών απορριμμάτων που αποδεικνύουν γιατί αξίζει όχι μόνο η Κύπρος, αλλά ολόκληρη η Ευρώπη να ακολουθήσουμε το παράδειγμά του. Όλα όμως ξεκινούν από ένα καλό σύστημα συλλογής και διαχείρισης των διάφορων ροών αποβλήτων που βγαίνουν από ένα νοικοκυριό. Εδώ τα εύσημα ανήκουν στη FOS Plus ή την FOS Plus όπως προφέρεται στα γαλλικά.
Plus is coordinating the producer responsibility for packaging waste, for packaging and packaging waste. This means that in the name of the industry, the companies who are putting packed products on the market, to coordinate the take-back obligation and the producer responsibility for the end-of-life management of these products, namely the packaging. And this in order to reach the recycling targets that are imposed by the Belgian and the European law. First of all, I think that in Cyprus the fundamentals are there in order to get better results in the future. I think they are on the right track, on the right way, because of the right fundamentals, the partnership with the local authorities, the partnership with the ministry. This is in fact what, let's say, we developed together as main, let's say, working scheme. The producer responsibility in hands of the industry, having the right legislation in place, each player its role, and then also to have close collaboration with the local authorities in order to have an optimized collection scheme. And I think effectively that it's a matter of a few years before Cyprus will reach the same targets and the same degree of cost efficiency as we have in Belgium, because the things are put in place. It's now a matter of having this executed in the right way. A lot of things that we can think about it in order to reach that degree of recycling and to have it done in a cost-efficient way is to have in place the right collection scheme, make the right choices, go for an optimized, uniform and standardized collection scheme over the whole country, have full coverage of the country, discuss with the local authorities on what should we communicate together to the citizens, how to sensitize them in order to take, let's say, the things in the right hands, to see where are the problems and then communicate on it, apply, for instance, also as a supportive and as an escorted measure. It's some kind of economic incentive, but for the residual waste, so for the non-sorted waste, making the people pay more than today in function of the volume and the weight of residual waste they produce. Because if you put in place this economic incentive, then you will see increasing your recycling results all of a sudden.
Το σύστημα διαλογής και διαχείρισης συσκευασιών της Κύπρου δεν διαφέρει και πολύ από αυτό του Βελγίου, αφού ουσιαστικά η Green Dot δημιουργήθηκε έχοντας ως πρότυπο την Plus Βελγίου. Αυτό που διαφέρει όμως είναι ο τρόπος με τον οποίο οι πολίτες συμμετέχουν στο πρόγραμμα. Μήπως στην Κύπρο χρειαζόμαστε περισσότερα οικονομικά κίνητρα για να αρχίσουμε να ανακυκλώνουμε, μήπως χρειαζόμαστε την επιβολή προστίμων για να αρχίσουμε απλώς να το κάνουμε. Στο Βέλγιο χρησιμοποιούν τόσο την πολιτική του καρότου όσο και την πολιτική του μαστιγίου.
We did get at such a high level in waste management in Belgium because we started from the waste management hierarchy, which is also in the European Waste Directive. And from there on we make waste management plans for different kind of waste streams. And from the waste management plans we use the different instruments, which are, amongst others, the landfill bans, incineration bans, landfill taxes. To get a good result in waste management, it is important that you have all the actors to cooperate. You don't put on a plan from the top as a government, but you have to combine citizens, municipalities, associations of municipalities. We work in Flanders, the private waste collectors. So you have to get them all together to get good results in waste management. The best results you get if you have separate collection. You have to have good waste streams that can be recycled properly. We want people to separate waste at home, so you get the streams in the right way to get good recycling results. If you don't separate at the source, the quality of the products that you get afterwards will be much lower, because you have some pollution, the selective streams, waste streams, and there the result of the recycling process is much lower. To have a success in your waste management, it is very important that you have social support. Before you start with new rules, you have to have information campaigns so that people understand why something is being asked to do. The second thing that you should bear in mind is don't go too fast. Rome wasn't built in one day, neither. We have financial penalties because the waste that is not collected separately, you pay much more than the separate collection schemes. Beside of the separate collection, we have also the grey bag that we call, which is the rest of waste, and you pay much more for those grey bags than for the separate collection schemes. We have two different systems, or you pay by weight, or you pay by sack. And we have in our legislation a system to get the right price combined with weight. So if you have price of €0.5 per kilo, if you go by weight, we have a price of €2.5 per bag.
Μία ώρα έξω από τις Βρυξέλλες, σε μια από τις βιομηχανικές περιοχές του Βελγίου, συναντά κανείς τη μεγαλύτερη μονάδα επεξεργασίας PMD. Εδώ, σε αυτό το χώρο, μαζεύονται 100 τόνοι PMD την ημέρα για να τύχουν περαιτέρω επεξεργασίας και να αποσταλούν στο εξωτερικό.
The sorting plant we have over here is our sorting plant for PMD. I understood it's the same principle in Belgium as in Cyprus. So what we do over here, the PMD which is collected in the municipalities and in the recycling centers is coming over here, and then we separate it into 9 recyclable materials. So on an annual basis we have approximately 30,000 tons of PMD which we sort out. So when you know that in a bag approximately it contains 3 kilograms of PMD, it means that we sort out approximately 10 million blue bags of PMD on an annual basis over here. For us, waste, it doesn't exist, so we try to reuse as much materials as possible. So that's what we are doing basically all the time. So we try to sort out of every fraction of waste which is being brought in. We try to get out as much recyclable materials as possible for reusage. In fact, it's very important that people sort out as much as possible on the source. For us, it's much easier to do the resorting afterwards, so we have much more reusable materials at the back end then.
Χρειάστηκαν περισσότερα από 20 χρόνια για να μπορέσουν οι Βέλγοι πολίτες να αντιμετωπίσουν την ανακύκλωση όχι ως αγκαρία, αλλά ως τρόπο ζωής.
Le tri parfait? On y est presque.
Με άλλα λόγια, χρειάστηκαν 2 δεκαετίες μέχρι να συνειδητοποιήσουν όλοι οι πολίτες ότι η ανακύκλωση δεν είναι θέμα ατομικής επιλογής, αλλά θέμα ευθύνης του κοινωνικού συνόλου. Πώς όμως αυτή η αλλαγή άλλαξε τις καταναλωτικές τους συνήθειες?
The consumer doesn't really change his way of consuming, his way of shopping. He's shopping the same way as before, as 20 years before, but he has to sort and to sort the waste to be recycled. It's the most important point, but it doesn't really change his way of shopping. When you have to manage waste, the first thing to do is to reduce waste and to not buy something that will make a lot of waste. It's the first point. And in Belgium we have developed a lot the second point, that is taking the waste, sorting it and recycling it, you know. If you buy something that is making less waste, it's better than taking the waste and recycling it. Recycling is very, very important, and what we did in Belgium is very important. What Plus and others did is very important. But the consumer has to reduce the waste he buys by changing his way of shopping. A lot of times, things that are less packaged are also cheaper. And it's best for the consumer, it's best also for the environment, and making less waste. And we are giving advices, we are showing to the consumer that it can be cheaper to buy less waste, things that with less packaging. Then it's one of the things we do. We are talking to them, we are writing articles, we are writing a lot of things to prevent waste production. The Belgian citizen it has the habit now to hear about environment issues. We are talking about environment for a lot of years now, a lot of decades. But it's really stable now. You know, with the economic crisis, environment is something in second or a third thing we will think about, you know. The thing that worked in Belgium to encourage the citizen to sort his waste, it really was the price, if you want. We start to put the garbage bags, but you have to pay a tax for them. Before that, you paid a tax yearly, but it was the same for every people. Now you have to pay as you throw. You know, you have to pay for the waste, not exactly, but for the number of bags you put on the street to be collected. And this thing made the way of doing of the consumer change, you know, and it was sometimes really tough for the consumer, because before sometimes he didn't have to pay or to pay a lot for his waste. And now he has to pay something like €1 for one bag of 60 liters, you know, and it was really huge at the time. I mean, sometimes like 10 or 15 years ago. That it was really tough, but it worked. And now the unsorted waste, then, you know, all the waste that will be burned, that it will not be recycled, all the waste will be burnt, and we really reduced this amount of waste. We are still making, if you consider all the waste we are doing, even the recycled ones, we are producing the same amount of waste from 10 years ago, and now it's the same. It's 500 kilos per people per year. But the part of the waste that is not sorted, not recycled, is really, really small now. It's about 100 and 120 kilo per people. Before it was nearly 500, you know. Yeah, this is the distinction you have to make between the waste that is collected to be recycled and the waste that is collected to be burned.
Μέρος των νομικών υποχρεώσεων των παραγωγών προϊόντων είναι η διαχείριση των συσκευασιών τους. Αυτό είναι ένα κατοχυρωμένο γεγονός που στην ουσία απαλλάσσει τους καταναλωτές από την αποκλειστική ευθύνη για τη μείωση, επαναχρησιμοποίηση και ανακύκλωση των συσκευασιών που εισέρχονται στα σπίτια τους. Και αυτό επειδή η ευθύνη για τη διαχείριση αποβλήτων συσκευασιών βαραίνει εξίσου, αν όχι περισσότερο, τις εταιρείες που σχεδιάζουν, μεταφέρουν και πωλούν τα προϊόντα τους σε καταναλωτές και μετά στη συνέχεια περιμένουν τον πολίτη και το κράτος να τα αξιοποιήσουν με τρόπο που δεν θα είναι επιβλαβή για το περιβάλλον.
One of the instruments we use in Flanders also in our waste management is the producer responsibility. In the European directives you have some waste streams that are put under producer responsibility. But in Flanders we have different other streams that we have in producer responsibility. As example, tires which are collected in a scheme with the same way as the FOSPlus system.
The purpose of today is to give you some explanation about packaging, what we do around packaging, but it's good to understand where it's coming from. We are a big company and we put a lot of packaging into the market, so we are looked at. So we want to make sure that every empty bottle is being recycled. We are also challenged by our customers, by our consumers, to make sure that we don't have the litter on the street, but that it's properly recycled. So also with FOSPlus, it's an organization in Belgium. We closely work together to make sure that every empty bottle is being recycled. Renew, reduce, recover and recycle. We had a sustainability plan where we focus on the 4 R's on packaging, and we want our packaging to be seen as a valuable resource, so we put everything in place that our consumer recycle their packaging when they have used it or consumed it. Packaging and recycling, so we want to make sure that first our packaging is being recovered, so an empty bottle is being recycled, and then we want to have as much as recycled content in our packaging. For now we have for PET bottle, for example, 32% of our packaging contains recycled content. So we have seen that we are doing very well between our 4 walls, so everything related to production, distribution and cooling equipment. So we have done some reductions on energy, but we have also seen that we cannot only look at our 4 walls, we have to look to the whole supply chain. So there we see that 52% of our CO2 emissions comes from packaging. So this is something also we want to lead in. We want to be the leader on sustainable packaging. We have to collaborate with our partners to make sure that every packaging that we make or that is being produced, that's also 100% recyclable, but contains as much recycled content as possible. So it's also innovation, design and collaboration that's very important.
Our producer responsibility, whether it is regarding packaging or regarding other priority waste streams or priority products for which producer responsibility is existing, that it should be done in a certain way, or let's say at least following certain principles. Producer responsibility should be taken in a serious way. We need producer responsibility in an authentic way. When we talk about producer responsibility, this means that this responsibility has to be taken in hands, has to be run by the industry itself. And the industry is an important player then, becomes responsible for the end of his life, and it should be a responsibility that cannot be transferred. If this responsibility is executed by, let's say, the local authorities or by the waste operators or by investors, we got a mix of roles and we got conflict of interest, whether it is operational, whether it is financial, mainly financial very often. EXPRA stands for Extended Producer Responsibility Alliance, but why we created this organization together with main industrial players, multinational companies, in order to promote this authentic EPR, this let's say refined EPR, taking it seriously. Industry is ready to take this responsibility, and so we are, EXPRA is now 19 members. Most of them are coming from the European Union. We are also abroad Europe, because EPR is discussed all over the world today, And this is the way we think it should be promoted. And we are today as EXPRA discussing all these topics with the European Commission, with the European Parliament, with the European Council, in order to have, let's say, in the future European legislation, these definitions of EPR and these definitions of the role of all the players, to have it organized at European level, and to not, in, let's say, in terms of subsidiarity, to leave it simply to the national member states. The execution can be left over to the member states, but the guiding principles for producer responsibility should be anchored in the European legislation.
Μία από τις σημαντικότερες ροές αποβλήτων είναι το γυαλί. Όχι μόνο επειδή σχετίζεται σχεδόν με κάθε κοινωνικό γεγονός, αλλά επειδή μπορεί να ανακυκλωθεί αναρρύθμιτες φορές. Το γυαλί στο Βέλγιο έχει τη δική του ιστορία ανακύκλωσης να διηγηθεί. Μια επιτυχημένη ιστορία που στην Κύπρο δεν μπορεί ακόμη να υποθεί.
Belgium has a long history in glass recycling. Everything starts with collection. A good collection at the source gives also a high recycling target. And if you talk about targets, we have a quite high recycling target, which we meet with our 97%, which is quite high for glass. And this high rate of collection, combined with a good sensibilization, good training of the consumer, gives very high results. Once the glass is collected, it comes in here color sorted, mainly color sorted, because we believe the better you sort at the source, the better result you get as a product you want to create. So the glass waste comes in different kinds, flat glass separated from bottle glass, and the different colors separated from each other. And then this glass is processed in our plant from waste into a new raw material. So the product we are producing is called furnace ready colored, that can be used in any kind of production of new glass. Well, we believe in sustainability, and if you talk about sustainability, you have to be aware that you have to think about a product that is coming back again and again, and glass is a product that recycles itself again and again without the loss of any quality. So you can recycle glass thousands of times into new glass without loss of quality. And we believe that this glass, or glass on itself, is a perfect product to be recycled in a closed loop, again and again, from glass into new glass. Once it is coming into an open loop recycling, it means that it is not made back into a product that can be recycled again. We believe this is a loss of raw materials, because the sources of raw materials are getting less and less. So we really need to protect this environment and this planet by creating as much as possible the closed loop recycling. If the government or the green dot system creates the necessary environment, the necessary kinds of waste that are attractive for the market, and something which is attractive for the market means a product that is recyclable quite easily by all different kinds of glass recyclers around Europe, well, I think this is the basis you have to create. A good quality collection, sorted from color to color, and not a commingled collection, but really a single source collection, glass separately from in bottle banks. And I think if you create this kind of waste in collection, you make it quite easy for the market, for newcomers or from other European glass recyclers to buy this product. as a waste, but it can be easily then be produced into a new raw material.
Προκειμένου να σταλεί το μήνυμα της ανακύκλωσης από τον πομπό στο δέχτη, όπως κάθε μήνυμα θα δεχτεί πολλές παρεμβολές. Η κάθε εκστρατεία ενημέρωσης όμως χρειάζεται μια σωστή στρατηγική επικοινωνίας για να είναι πετυχημένη. Αυτό στο Βέλγιο το γνωρίζουν καλά.
Puisqu'on trie déjà si bien à la maison, eh bien maintenant trions aussi au travail. Et tant qu'à faire, au club de sport. Ou bien pendant les festivals. FOS Plus. Ensemble, trions bien, recyclons mieux.
Nobody likes change. Even people who say they do like change. I mean, doing something different tomorrow than you're doing it today requires more processing, requires more effort, requires thinking about things you used to do automatically, can involve guilt, can involve fear of making errors. So there is a big deal in getting people to kind of change ingrained behavior which has been learned over and over by repetition, especially when it comes to waste. I mean, we throw away things on a daily basis. In public, in our jobs, at home, and it usually means you open up a cupboard or you open up a waste disposal basket and you just throw it in. And then trying to think about which waste disposal basket of these three I need to choose requires extra processing. So in term, this behavior will become automatic in itself. But getting people to get into this mode where they're conscious about their behavior and change what they're used to do without thinking about it is a pretty tough job. People who are involved with behavioral change or public awareness on whatever theme usually get a lot of data. As it is a societal team, it gets investigated by political parties, by public institutions. There's a lot of stuff available abroad. And when they start thinking about communicating, more often than not, you'll just get a big pile of statistics and graphs. And these people are doing this and are not doing that. And they're portraying this behavior and we want them to portray that behavior. And you can see they're doing it here and not there. And there's a data indigestion because there is more data to begin with. And two, because people tend to think about the subject at hand as being very important because it is their job. And in general, advertising is not that important to people, whether it's about behavior change or whether it's about selling shampoo. I mean, you're interrupting my film, sports, whatever, what I'm doing on Facebook, and you want me to do something, to look at something. So we need to be far more single-minded about this. I mean, to define an objective and then find why aren't we achieving that objective today? What's the one issue that stops us from, or that stops people from altering their behavior, or from looking at a problem in a different way, or from donating, or whatever?
And you're suggesting that we should do that in less words?
I'm suggesting we should have that discussion up front. I think there is a culture